What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be teaching you how to use your Blink Hunter in Trials of Osiris on the Burnout. Now the Burnout is a pretty good map. I used my Blink Warlock in the video from yesterday and I did a whole build there. If you want to go check that out after this one, be my guest. But today we're using a certain build and the star of the show is going to be the Dire Promise hand cannon. Now I've never been such a huge fan of this hand cannon, but I had my subscriber the other day, I'll put that comment on screen right now, and they commented and said, hey, Roger, can you check out the Dire Promise? And I was like, you know what, I will do it. Now the Dire Promise is a funny case, and let's go into its stats so we can check it out. Now this is a 140 RPM hand cannon, so usually the most solid in the game are these hand cannons right here, the 140s. They have good range, but they have a pretty good amount of zoom where it's not too crazy, so you can get pretty close with them as well and still do well with them. Now the thing with the Dire Promise for a while is that it was missing one zoom. It was actually glitched to where it didn't have as much zoom as the other 140s, and that really made it just not feel that great. But now it got that zoom back a little while ago when they actually fixed that bug. Way to go, Bungie. Hey, maybe fix the other 1,000 bugs, but take your time. I know you're doing a lot of crazy stuff, right? But now it's pretty good, right? I still prefer a lot of other hand cannons over this, like my God Roll Ostringer. You know, you can craft that bad boy, and I love it. But Dire Promise is still good. Here is the roll that I have. Starting off, I have Steady Hand HCS, High Caliber Rounds, Snapshot Sights, and Rangefinder. Now this is all pretty good. We have 47 range, which is not the worst, not the best. 84 impact, you know, a pretty solid hand cannon here. 88 aim assistance, you know, like it has some good stats, nothing too bad. 67 stability there because I do have a stability masterwork. The rangefinder is going to give it some nice extra range, which you really do like to see on these 140s. When I can get rangefinder on a 140, I love to have it. It'll give you a few extra meters of range there, and I'm quite a big fan of the Dire Promise. It doesn't have the best gun feel to me, but after using it a little bit today, towards the end of the day, I really did start to get more of a feel for it, and while it's not something that I think I'll go to often, I might pull it out every now and again and have a little fun with it. When we want to go close in, I do have my 7th Seraph CQC-12 a shotgun on. That's quite a mouthful right there. Lightweight frame shotgun, so we get that little sprint speed bonus when we have this thing equipped into our hands, and plus 20 mobility. This is a very solid shotgun. It has my favorite combination here of quick draw and snapshots, so I always love to use this thing, and it's very, very solid. Or our exotic armor piece here, I do have on Lucky Pants. I don't have these masterworked yet, and I pulled these out of my collection a while ago. I started a Blink Hunter when they got Blink, so at the beginning of this season. So before that, I didn't have any really exotics for my hunter. I had some unlocked, but you know, I don't have that great of armor. I've just been working on it throughout this season. But we have the Lucky Pants here, not the best stats, but it still has the good armor perk here. That is going to be called Illegally Modded Holster. So when you ready a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic damage or a damage type matching your subclass, so of course we do have a kinetic hand cannon today, it says each hit from that hand cannon increases the damage of the next shot for a short time against a combatant. Now note that that extra damage does not apply in PvP. So the extra damage part is only a PvE part, but there is some good still perks that you get with this. So we have this down here. Hand cannons ready faster and are more accurate immediately after swapping to them. Provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of hand cannons while the buff is active, and there's so much to this perk that it even like cuts off at the bottom. So we have all of that, gives us some better accuracy, some in-air accuracy, you know, so there is good parts to this. I think it makes the actual cone of where your shots can go even smaller, by like 40% or something. Apologies for not knowing the exact numbers, but I was reading about it earlier, and it does some pretty good stuff. It's only like a 6-second buff somewhere around there, so it doesn't really last long. And I will say one thing that I really do not like about it is when you spawn in and you have a kinetic hand cannon, as soon as you spawn in, you know, like right in your spawn, this activates because it shows you have a fully loaded hand cannon, and then the armor perk goes off and then the timer runs out and you just don't even get to use it. And it's like, why? I feel like I should be able to switch to my shotgun, switch back to the hand cannon, and then it should start to proc, right? I shouldn't have to go through the entire cooldown of another 10 seconds of running out of luck, is what it will say on the left screen side of the screen. You'll see it later on, before I can actually proc this again. I think that's really silly, and they should probably change how that interaction works. You can go ahead and check out the rest of the mods on the armor here, as you would like. Pause it if you want to see anything there. And I will say here, you do get a hand cannon holster mod built directly into your Lucky Pants. Of course, part of the Lucky Pants armor perk is that it has to work on a fully loaded hand cannon. So even if you didn't fully load your hand cannon, you're missing 1 or 2 bullets, you could put it away, stow it, and your and your hand cannon holster mod will go ahead and reload it to full, and then when you pull it back out, you can get the armor perk to proc. So that is all of our mods and whatnot there. I don't have the greatest stat distribution just because I don't have the greatest armor yet, but I like to make sure I stay at 100 recov. I would have liked to have at least 80 mobile, to be honest with you, but I did just a fine amount of success at 63 because, of course, like I said, lightweight frame shotgun here, so we were at 80 mobility when I had that shotgun out. All that being said, why don't we go ahead and check out what we have in our Arc 3.0. Starting here, we have the Gathering Storm. I do think Arc Staff is better. I tell you guys every time I make a video showing off these supers that I think Arc Staff is better, but I also think it just takes too long to charge roaming supers in 3v3 game modes to make them viable, in my opinion. So I am using Gathering Storm, and I also just think that this super is a little bit slept on. I think it's pretty solid, and I have one really good play later on where I actually tie around really well by smacking some guys with this super, and it's just really solid, and I think it's kind of slept on. We have Gambler's Dodge, so when we dodge near an enemy, we're going to get our melee ability back immediately. We have our Blink, of course, because we're not little, jumping freaks. No, we're not a little jumping bean, okay? We want the Blink here. We have Uncombination Blow, so once we kill somebody with this melee, we do get a little heal, and we get some of our class ability energy back. Actually, it gives us all of our class ability energy back, so that's something nice to note. I did go for flashbang nades here. I will show you some spots where you can do some pretty good nades on the burnout, and I didn't know, when I was on my Warlock, I used my scatter nades because those can one-shot. There's not really any nades that one-shot here specifically like a scatter nade does, but I do like the utility that a flashbang grenade provides, and I think they'd be very strong, so I'm kind of trying to practice with them and get better, and I'll show you some spots you can throw them in and actually have some really nice round starts. After that, we have Flow State, just so we can kill somebody that is jolted and get ourselves amplified. A very big part of Arc 3.0, of course, is getting amplified. And then we have Lethal Current. Now, I do think Lethal Current and Tempest Strike here are both very good choices, and I did just go for Lethal Current today, so that's where you're going to be doing a dodge. And then when you do your next melee attack, it's going to lunge farther, it's going to jolt the target, and it also makes them explode after a second. That can do some spread damage to people around them, so that's very nice to have. For our fragments, we start with Spark of Recharge, so while critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. We love to see that, just so we can get our Maid and our melee energy back, because those are both very big parts of our kit, so we like to have any ways to get those back faster. We love to see that. After that, I have Spark of Momentum, again, get our melee energy back, and have basically Slide Shot built into our shotgun with this fragment, because that's going to let you slide over ammo bricks, which reloads your equipped weapon, but it also grants a small amount of melee energy, so it's just a very solid thing to have. And when I am shotgunning or fusion rifling or whatever, I really like to use this fragment. I think it's maybe even a little slept on. Definitely recommend throwing this on. And then we have your Arc Grenade jolts targets with our Spark of Shock here. So that's a really good way at the beginning of a round. If you can get your flashbang on somebody, jolt them really easily, and then take them out while they're blinded, you can immediately get amplified and just run down the other two enemies. And I think I do that a few times today, and I'll show you when I can get that working. It's just very, very satisfying. And then we finish off with Spark of Ions. So defeating a jolted target creates an Ionic Trace, just so we can get those Ionic Traces and get our abilities back even faster, because getting your abilities back is the name of the game in Destiny. I think I covered everything, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments for me. I will answer anything you want to talk about. Or if you want to join my Discord server, I do have that linked in the description. Go ahead, it's called Blinkville or Blinkoweenville right now because it's Halloween themed, because we spoopy boys. I love to talk to everybody there. We're always talking all day, whether it's about Destiny or honestly lately Overwatch or Shatterline, or just talking in general and just, screwing around with each other. I'd love to see you. I'd love to have some conversations with you. So go ahead and join that down in the description. There's some very cool people in there. But all that being said, I think we're about ready to get into this gameplay. If you want to leave me a like at any point in the video, I will say that very much helps, and we are also on the way to 10k subs, so if you would like to subscribe at any point, I would very much appreciate that. All that being said, I think we have everything covered, so why don't we go ahead and blink into this gameplay. So if you watched my video from yesterday on my Blink Warlock, you know that this is a very common start I do. You blink behind the mid pillar here. Now unfortunately Cheeseville was up, so I kind of wasted my nade, but I saw they were all over to my right, so I blinked in aggressively, and then I dodged after that first kill, and I went on to the next guy. I did a very aggressive high up blink there, mapped him pretty well and took him out, and then my teammates do throw this round. But what I want to show there is just how fast you can get to mid, set up, get a good nade down towards the left where I initially threw it, and if you can get some follow-up shots with your hand cannon, that can be amazing. Unfortunately, Cheesewheel was in the way, and they all went to mid anyways. Now, be careful if you get that aggressive, because it can work counterintuitive for, trying to kill your enemies. If you want to come to the left side of the map here, though, it can be very good. Watch your radar right here. You see how I just got a two-piece right there? Oh, I mean, that was sexy, sexy, baby. I'm licking my fingers from dipping my hands in that bag of chips right there, because that was just so sexy. But you gotta be careful when you come out of a blink on Blink Hunter, because you're not gonna have Astral Sight burst. You're not gonna have your radar as you go through a blink, so make sure as soon as you exit a blink, blink, the first thing you do is check your radar to see where your enemies are. You can see here we flank to the left of these guys. Come around the left side of this map. I'm telling you, when you can get around the left side of that map so quickly because you have blink, it's going to surprise the heck out of your enemies, and you can get some of the best flanks in the entire game. You saw on that guy I actually used Tempest Strike. On these first couple of plays, I do have Tempest Strike on. I did not mean to have it on, I just forgot to change it, but I will put on the correct aspect here in a little bit. This is another angle you can come from if you want to. This is 4-4 in the match, right? I almost have my super, my Gathering Storm. You can see what I mean. This is round 9, and I'm just about to get a Gathering Storm, you know? A single pop shutdown type of super. So if I had my Arc Staff on, I would never get it, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Why would I put on the Arc Staff if I'm never going to get it? I went for this res here because I knew it was my only course of action if I wanted to try to win. I baited them to me by going for something like a res. They both gathered up, and then I was able to actually tie that round, and I think we won that. I can't quite remember, but either way, I got that tie, and I extended it one more round. That's what you're trying to do in those situations. If I could have won outright, it would have been even better, but it was still a nice play. That was one of the most beautiful nades I'm ever going to throw. I literally just threw that thing into a pebble on the ground, bounced it into those guys' head, and smacked them. You can see illegally mounted holster on the left side of my screen there as I was smacking that first guy. Really helped me just get that extra accuracy on my Dire Promise there and take him out, fly in with a shotgun play and just smack them. And you saw when I got that blinding nade on them, they couldn't see, you know, all they had to do was guess where they could run away and try to run away. Don't mind those shots. I had some ugly shots at the beginning of the day here because I was not on point yet. They get better as the video goes on. But that's what I'm saying. As soon as you have that blinding nade on them, they can't see, which is one of the most powerful effects you can put onto your enemies in this entire game. Not to mention they are both jolted, so I take them out and I'm instantly amplified, which gives me the movement speed to instantly go onto the next guy even faster. Smack that guy with a nice sword play, go in, take this guy out with a nice shotgun and melee combo, find the last one here and punch him in the face a few times too. I was whiffing my shotgun shots there a little bit, but it's okay. I got a nice fistful of fury right there and I can take them out with that just as easily. So there was your sword play in that match right there. You know, you guys always want to see at least one heavy play in the game, you know, a little eager edge sword slash. There it was for you. Looking at our radar, we see there is someone over there. He is a sniper. We see him on the right side. I slide in, I take 2 shots. You can see from this range, even with rangefinder on the Dire Promise, I'm only hitting for 46s, 47s, but that's okay. I did have his shield, so I knew I could fly in pretty confidently and smack him down, take out his teammate, do my dodge. You can see now I do have lethal current, so I punch him once, punch him again, he explodes because I had lethal current after I did my dodge there. If you do have lethal current on, what you want to do is blink near your enemies. Do not blink as close as you would if you are just blink shotgunning. You want to blink far enough away where you can land and then dodge and then shotgun rush them so you can actually hit them with the lethal current melee after you hit them with a shotgun blast. Had some nice shots there with my hand cannon, smacked this guy pretty good, but unfortunately I kind of pulled my shotgun shot a little too low there, but I cut the rest of this clip in because I wanted to show you I had good teammates, you know. They followed up well and they secured this match based off of what I did. If you need to get super aggressive just to get your teammates an advantage so that they feel more confident in that game, then go ahead and do that, because sometimes when you get that first pick, that second pick, and you can make it a 2v1 for your teammates even if you die there, then that's going to give your teammates the confidence they need to go ahead and finish that round out. You can see again here, he actually did turn around onto me, but I was able to smack him really well, punch that guy, dodge backwards, and then start going in on him again. Nice little blink transition there for you into this next round. Here is the blinding nade that I'm talking about. That blinding nade is beauty. Now this guy's trying to run away and he's completely blinded. I fly in. Unfortunately, I do trade with him. I love challenging Titan shields because I am confident in myself that I know the timing on it, and I was correct on that. Unfortunately, we lost the round because maybe I did go a little too much balls to the wall there, but as you saw, I did wipe him out, and that blinding nade is why I wanted to show you guys that clip so you can keep that in mind. Now that was a good prediction of a blinding nade too. If there was a sniper player or a pulse rifle player, they probably would have sat there, but unfortunately it did not work out. But this blink was beautiful. Blink in, smack him, instantly dodge, have my combination blow, kill the second one. Since I killed him with my combination blow and my aspect that gave me the, you know, lethal current, I am amplified, which means I can slide super far. Look how far I just slid onto that guy's booty cheeks because I was amplified. So there's kind of a double-edged sword with amplified while you have blink on. So we have the first part of it, right? Okay, I have amplified. Unfortunately, I'm going to jump really high, which can sometimes have you go a really floaty. Oh, I want to mention really quick, this nade comes in, I go back really quick, let it explode, come back in, smack him, smack the second guy in the head. Oh, that was a beautiful play, baby. I'm telling you out loud, when I got that play, I literally went, ooh, wee, baby. Ooh, I was doing pig calls. It was some nice stuff right there. But when you have that amplified on, like I'm trying to say, it can be a double-edged sword because, yes, the slide distance, that's great, but unfortunately, when you jump really high, that can be bad for your blink because it jumps really high, and that means it takes a very long time to actually do a horizontal blink, so keep that in mind. You see where that guy was standing right there, where I threw that blinding nade? I threw that blinding nade at the same time in the round before because that's what I'm telling you, snipers love to sit right there. I'm looking at my radar, see this guy's right here. I fly in on him. Unfortunately, he starts running away and I don't have the best shot, but look, illegally modded holster helps me get some easy accuracy on that guy. I smack him good. I go to bridge with my blink, flank him up, and just smack him again with my shotgun. You gotta be looking for those opportunities. How can I get around my enemies, especially if your teammates are going to corral them into you like a little sheep and a sheepdog, then you can cut them off with your blink and take them out easily. I blink up top here, just get away from that nade, because it might have been one of those tracking ones. They do have 2 titans, so those can be very annoying this season. I see this guy up to my left. I thought that teammate's dead body flying around was an enemy. Hit some nice shots here. You can see my shot stats are coming online a little bit more in the later parts of the day. I knew if I could just get aggressive here, I could take one more out. I did my dodge before I blinked in there, and you can see how far my lunge range was because I did my dodge and I had my lethal current ready. I was able to take out 2 of the enemies. Now that leads my teammates into a 2v1. They were a little incompetent, you know, they weren't quite picking him up, but that's okay. They res me. I shoot him in the belly button. My teammate punched him in the booty cheek. We take him out together. It was like, good job, guys. You did exactly what you need to do by just focusing my res and keeping the spacing correct and not letting him get that res. They played perfectly. I throw in the blinding nade here because I see my enemies, and you can see that's 2 blinds. They don't even know where they are. They literally look like I just took an ant farm, I shook it up, and those motherfuckers got drunk off their own feces, you know, or pheromones, I meant to say. I forget what I said before, but I hate smoke bombs so much. I was stuck in that smoke bomb, and I just literally couldn't move, and this guy gets to spray me down. But before that happened, it was a very nice push there, and those blinding nades, once you start to get the hang of them, can do some crazy stuff. Here's a situation where I come up behind these guys. You can see illegally modded holster is going to do wonders for me here because I'm just spraying these guys down. Now, it does say illegally modded holster, but it also says out of luck at the same time. So what I'm wondering is my illegally modded holster working or was it not working? Oh, I also want to mention at the end of that clip there, you can see I left a lot of that clip, and then at the end, even though I already had the kills, I left that in because I wanted to show you guys, if you don't have your melee ability energy full and you see there is special ammo on the ground once a round ends, ignore that grenade, then what you want to do is make sure you go and slide over those special ammo bricks because that will give you some energy back to your melee ability. Smack that guy there. I fly in. This was a very aggressive fly in. Almost screwed us over, but I was able to take 2 shots there. That is why I like lightweight frame shotguns, because even if they don't kill in the first burst, you can just shoot again in like half a second, so it's not that big of a deal. Teammates follow up beautifully, and we do secure that round. Coming in here, I use my dodge to get out of the suction of that vortex nade. I use my blink to get across this entire sniper lane without barely showing my hitbox at all, and then I use the second blink to get through this hallway to go towards mid and heavy ammo very, very quickly. I use my quick draw and snapshot to aim onto this guy very quickly, smack him into the dirt, blink up top. I'm looking on the radar for this last guy. I think he might want to challenge me with a hand cannon, but he does not. So I take out my shotgun, fly into perfect range, and smack him very quickly. You need to be careful of those ranges that you do fly in, especially if you are in midair with those shotguns. Your accuracy is going to be very, very bad. So keep that in mind. We are coming into our last few plays here, so I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Again, if you'd like to leave a like on this video, it does very much help. It tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, I enjoy this content, and then they can show it to more people, and they can hopefully enjoy it too. And that's beneficial for all of us, isn't it? Because that lets me create more content and lets you just enjoy more content. So I'd very much appreciate that. Let me know, what was your favorite play today, and do you think you'll use this build as well? And are you a fan of the Dire Promise? To my boy who came in and said, yo, can you use this build? I think you are Red Wolf in my server, I believe. Sorry if I said that wrong. I don't have time to go check right now, but thank you so much for leaving the comment. If there is a gun you want to see me use, leave it in the comments. I'm not going to promise you that I will use that gun. If it's some goofy shit and you're like, go and use the Dead Messenger Arc Warlock Melee, I'm not going to do that, Thomas. I'm not going to go and frickin' fry my own brain just to use that combo. If it's a normal gun, like you want to see me use a certain hand cannon or something, I can most likely make that happen for you. But if it's some goofy shit, you want me to put on the red honking nose, the rainbow wig, and some clown shoes, I'm sorry, brother, I'm straight up not gonna do that. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm just gonna use my blink and use some fun builds. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let this last play out for you guys, and that is going to be it for me today. Come on, teammates, come on, res me. I'm gonna get my Mike Tyson gloves on if you res me and punch this guy in the nutsack, and bam, baby, yeah, take that, and have a great day, Guardians.